This story is about a girl who gets a second chance in life to find her love. Through a lot of pain, she's gonna do anything to be with her destined man. She turns out in an awkward situation between two men, finding who is her destiny. Let's watch what she will decide: fame, money, or destiny. One day, at night, she gets a letter saying that she will be out of apartment at the end of the month if she doesn't pay her rent. That's why she is upset. A few days later, she receives an invitation and discovers that it is for a music school, and the person who made the order is a longtime colleague of hers from music school. She is embarrassed by the encounter, but she explains that she is trying to raise as much money as possible to start her own business, which means doing what she loves. To get rid of her, she pretends to have received an invitation over the phone. At night, Dub stays over at her friend Sue's house, and she shows her the location where her store will be located, telling her that she is sure it will be the most famous store in the entire country. A month ago, she opened classes at home to teach young children how to play the piano, because she's a really good teacher. But after one job, she goes to her second work as a courier. She works hard to achieve her goals. The main thing is that she works several jobs to do what she loves to do. Afterward, we see G. He is the owner of a large company. When they find someone trending in music, or someone with meaningful content, they contract with him, and he takes care of the advertising costs. When he is at work and talking to his assistant named Shan, his closest friend and confidant, suddenly, he hears a sound and asks Shan if he hears the same sound, but realizes that he is the only one hearing it, and tries to chase the sound away but can't. The sound gets louder and louder, to the point where he loses himself and falls. They take him to a doctor and tell him that he has a syndrome that causes this, because he works too hard, and the sound is only caused by the stress of work. She calms him down and tells him that all his tests are normal, but he's not interested in what she says. The doctor notices this and asks Sean to take care of him, that is, to stay away from any noise. If this continues, he will lose his hearing. While they are busy, he calls the secretary and asks her to deliver the piano to the house. Then G is surprised that he did it himself and assures her that it's all a waste of time. Dub is sitting with her friend Sue, and it turns out someone she knows needs a piano teacher, so she's willing to work, and the money will be very good. She tells Sue that she is very happy about this news. Moments later, she gets a call and agrees. She finds out that it's Shan. He has asked her to teach G how to play the piano. He tells her that it will be a challenge to teach him as he doesn't believe in the idea from the beginning. Dub was going to refuse, but when Shan told her he will give her double the money if she doesn't miss any classes, she agreed without no hesitation. Before leaving, Shan takes the devices away from G to make sure he doesn't have to work and can truly rest like the doctor said. He looks for the tablet but doesn't find it, but sees the piece of paper Sean left him. It says to eat well, which means Sean took the tablet away too, so G can have a good rest. While he was sitting up at night, flipping through clips, he came across a rock singer and musician he really liked. His name was Kai. He decides to send him a message. The next day, a piano is brought to him, and soon she arrives home to give him a lesson. Seeing each other for the first time, they are surprised, and each is surprised by the other's presence. They are very surprised. Then G remembers sitting in the airport and getting a call from his girlfriend that she can't go with him. At first, he thought she was joking, but when he realized she was being serious, he got very upset. Now, G tells her that her life will never change, and running away is temporary. Turns out Dub was G's girlfriend, and she broke up with him for no reason. She has second thoughts and accepts the job. After thinking about it, he goes after her and asks her to compete with him and start class at the same time, because she likes the same idea as him. Later that day, G can't sleep at all, thinking and trying to get rid of all memories of her, but he fails. While at work, he wants to call her but decides not to, and instead cries to get rid of his feelings for her. Another day, he still can't sleep. He receives a message agreeing to meet him, sending him his contact details, and is happy to meet him. After a while, he decides to reciprocate jealousy with jealousy. That is, show her things she doesn't have, so that she will regret breaking up with him. He starts putting his stuff on a stand by the door so that when she comes in the house, she can see it. He fills the refrigerator with drinks and expensive things. Dub holds his first music book, and as he holds it, she remembers the days she spent with G and the words he wrote. When she focused a bit, she couldn't help but reminisce about him. When the girl got there, she saw him in a suit and asked if anyone could wear a suit in this weather. He must be joking, but that's the way he wants to be. She goes into the house and looks at all the stuff. He purposely opens the refrigerator in front of her and leaves the bill in it. When she sees this, she tries to prove to him that she's not envy, but she's actually embarrassed. Class is over and she is about to go, but G offers her a ride, but she refuses. She walks away, jealous of his life. When she goes to unlock the car, fails, and G takes the opportunity to open the garage door where 3 of the most beautiful and expensive cars are parked. The girl looks at him with sparks in her eyes. He chooses the most beautiful car and gets in it. Then, the girl agrees and gets a ride. She doesn't even know how to open the expensive door. Later, Dub came home, and the kids realized that this was their last session with her. G was at the coffee shop waiting, but she still wasn't ready. He goes to her website on her cell phone number and brings up pictures. He remembers sitting in the restaurant holding his phone in front of him to post content on YouTube. Obviously, Dub wasn't happy with what he was doing, and all the while she was chiding him for working on his day off. But she tried to convey to him that he needed to rest to be able to continue working. He would ask her to make a rose, and she would take it from him and very rudely throw it away. He went after her and wanted to know why she had cheated on him. She told him that he was living in illusions back then, and on his free days he was creating content on YouTube instead of getting a well-needed rest. Now the girl told him that the reason she was always busy working was her dream. G admitted to her that he has issues with work and life in general, but while he's with her, he tries to turn off his brain so he doesn't annoy her with problems. Meanwhile, a man who happens to be on the same street helps her and retrieves the headphones that fell off. They chat, and he gets to know that she is a music teacher. When he tells her that he is a singer and musician, they share their numbers. When Kai comes home to G and he sees that he admires the music, he asks him to invite his friend to join him and form a band, and G, of course, agrees. Later, Dub comes home from class and is surprised to find Kai at G's house, and G is also surprised that they know each other. They chat with each other, and Kai suggests that she work with him in a group. He informs her that he approached G about it, and she agrees. Of course, G didn't know he was talking about the girl lately, but she declines his offer and thanks him. He then tells her that he respects her decision. Kai is determined and asks her to help him with making a content. Hearing this, he gets annoyed and offers to help her now that the piano is free. But of course, G wanted them in front of him. He had almost rekindled his love for Dub, and Kai was very insufferable. While playing with her, he asks G what he thinks of him and Dub as the perfect couple. G tells him that they don't have any sparks between them, and that they'd better not work together. G gets annoyed when he hears him admit to Dub that she touched him with her music. Then he gets really mad at him. Dub is at home and gets a call from Kai suggesting they meet for a drink as he is not going to sleep, and Dub agrees. She asks what he meant when he said that her acting moved him. He replies that it doesn't require an explanation and that he was right, and Kai hints that he likes her, but Dub keeps quiet. Back home, he gets drunk and tells G that he stayed out late with Dub and says that he really likes her. G is annoyed by this, and his jealousy grows. He decides to call her and go to her house. He tells her that since she has agreed to work with Kai, she should sign a contract. He tells her that if she likes Kai so much, she should be honest with him and tell him that they were a couple. She assures him that it's her business and hers alone. As G sits at home, he thinks about his conversation with her. He is very tired of everything and wants to get a rest. Here they are all sitting around discussing how their work will be, and Kai notices that G and Dub are talking like they are in love with each other. When he asks G about it, he replies that they went to college together. Kai tells the girl that she should have told him since they spent time together yesterday. She replies she forgot to tell him. Sometime later, she arrives at G's place. He offers to put her suitcase in the sink. When G realizes that Kai's hands are touching her hands, he gets angry and runs to grab her suitcase and put it in the sink himself. Before leaving the tub, he takes Kai in his arms. When they sit down to eat, G notices that he has an old surgical wound on his arm. Kai praises G's persistence and tells her that he has finished his YouTube career. Later, he realizes that he has already met those who wanted to discourage him, including the girl he was in love with. She assures him that she is the reason he is where he is now, because he tried so hard to prove a point that she will regret it when she sees him again. He wants to know if he really loved her or not, and G tries to hurt Dub by saying that he thought he loved her, but he's sure he's just used to her in his life, and Dub gets really nervous. At night, G and Dub are on YouTube, but they have no idea that they are replying to each other in the comments. Dub doesn't want to go to sleep. She goes for a walk. At that time, G comes out, and they are surprised meeting each other. A year ago, it turns out Dub had a talk with a doctor, and he told her that she needed to have surgery on her hand, because if she neglected it, she would never be able to play the piano again. The problem was that the day of the surgery coincided with the day she was supposed to go with G. He tells her why she didn't tell him. Then, she hurts him with the words and assures him that it wasn't necessary because their relationship was not going to get better. Listening to her, he gets very angry and decides to leave her, but gets back and asks her to explain why their relationship didn't work out. She told him that his thoughts were out of her intentions, meaning he had great ideas that he wouldn't be able to accomplish. He asked her if she regretted being with him. She didn't answer. He realized that the man she left for lack of money now has 3 cars instead of 1, a big company, and he mentions his great success to her, and she's still struggling trying to pay rent. Eventually, he could explain her, why he worked hard day and night. At this point, she feels guilty and starts belittling herself and tells him that he has the right to tell her whatever he wants. 'Cause she wasn't right. G needs to realize that she left him for money and now she works for him. He assures her that he has never regretted anything in his life as much as he regretted meeting her. She stays up until morning thinking it's obvious she's very upset. On the other hand, G sat up and put all his energy into his work, but he couldn't concentrate because her words wouldn't get out of his head. The next day, Kai wakes up, and upon seeing Dub, he notices that she looks upset and offers to go to the music library with her. G comes, but Kai is annoyed and asks if Dub will go out with him. He tries to pretend he doesn't care. Then Sean shows up. After a while, Kai and Dub just sit and watch everything that is going on between them. The two of them sit and talk. Then Sean comes out to greet them, but nothing happens. After a while, G decides to give them a ride to where they want to go, saying he has also to go to work. While Kai and Dub are in the library, G walks in there and says that business has been postponed and he's coming back for them. G and Dub look at each other and realize that there could still be love between them, but each of them refuses to show their feelings for the other. Suddenly, G loses consciousness. They're shocked and try to help him immediately. Moments later, he runs to his car to take his medicine, and after he feels better, he sees that the girl cares for him, and he gets even better. The next day, G goes to the countryside with Kai and Dub to find a place for they content. Kai and Dub are working. Kai goes to tell the girl that he knows that he and G had dated. Dub is surprised that he figured it out on his own, since she never said anything. Kai assures her that it's no big deal, and that's understandable. He assures her that the feelings between them must be real. Then G comes interfering in the conversation. At night, the girl leaves the house because she decides to leave the house, especially since her training with Kai is over. He offers to help her and drive her home. She tells him that she is going to help her friend Sue with the restaurant. He decides to help her, but at the same time he arrives and tells G that he will bring his friend to the restaurant. But his friend's looks at first meeting make him fall in love with Sue, and after work they sit together, laughing and having heart-to-heart talks. After a while, the two go for a walk. The girl apologizes to G for being unfair to him, although she should have explained to him the reasons for the breakup. He also apologizes for not understanding what she was going through at that moment. While they're out walking, it's raining, and Dub suggests he stay at her house while the weather worsens, and the guy agrees. They spend a very nice time together then, enjoy playing, and from that moment on, he realizes that they still have feelings for each other that can grow. Another day, Kai talked to Dub. He decided to confess feelings to her, and offered to give her time to think and respond when she was sure of her feelings. The next day, Dub and friend together, and Dub tells her that she has realized that she has feelings for G and is sure that he has either. Then, Dub goes to meet Kai at the studio where they were supposed to record a song. Dub wants to give Kai an answer about their relationship, but unfortunately other people show up. Dub interrupts her, and G goes in to continue working, and Sean sits down next to him and says he's glad he's getting along with Dub. But G wants to show that he's not interested in her, and says no. While G is in the studio, his gaze and attention is focused on Dub. Suddenly the problem returns, but this time it's not as bad as last time with his hearing. Afterward, they sit in a restaurant talking about their personal lives. She wants to tell him her answer, but Kai again interrupts her, telling her that she doesn't want to give her answer right now, and that it's better to give answer after they're done with the project. Because otherwise, he won't be able to perform well, and it will lose him credibility. She got his point. Meanwhile, G is worked up because he knows she's having dinner with Kai right now, and decides to send her texts. But every time he writes a sentence, it erases itself. Meanwhile, Dub is still talking to her mom, checking up on her and knowing that she's almost ready to start her own business. Mom offers to help her, but she refuses, saying she wants her to do everything on her own. On the second day, he goes with her to continue on the project. They enjoy it. But then G notices that her arm hurts. He asks the boss to stop it, and after they take a coffee break. G goes to talk. He tells her he trusts her. He gives a ball and advises her to squeeze it if she feels like she's not okay. Later, G feels that they are close to each other. He's sure there's something between them, but he knows he can't get attached to her. After all, if he allows himself, he will end alone, cause she can leave him again. After finishing, G goes with them. He looks at the girl standing with Kai, and he's very jealous. As they're finishing, G praises Dub and Kai for their efforts and offers Kai dinner and a drink in honor of finishing the project. Kai apologizes and informs him that he has to go tonight, and before Kai leaves, G asks him if they'd like to be friends. In the evening, they are together at a restaurant, drinking and celebrating the end of the project. Sean asks G and Dub if they date. However, Dub dashes G's hopes and tells Sean that they don't, because it is a very complicated question. G gets depressed when he hears what she said, and afterward he's at home thinking about what she said. Now he tries to get a rest. But when he opens the video, he sees Kai and Dub are standing next to each other, and he can hear what they are saying because he was recording there. He wants to know how Dub feels about him, and Dub tells him that she is just a friend to him. When G hears this, he is happy as never, and he's sure that there will be no more betrayal. Kai respects her opinion and tells her that he's sure she doesn't love him, and asks, "What if G doesn't have feelings for you?" The girl tries to answer and G listens carefully, but unfortunately someone shows up and takes the camera away. G was going crazy. The next day, she comes to G to teach how to play the piano. As she sits with him, he watches her look at him. She lets him know that she is afraid of what is happening, and explains that at first, she was sure she would never love him. She assures him that she can't control herself now that she's with him. He then tells her that he hopes her feelings for him last a long time this time. Then she goes with G to a nice restaurant, and when they finish, she realizes that the bill is very large. All she can think about at this point is that she will have to work for almost 3 months without vacation to make that money. She takes it hard. As G watches the video of Kai and Dub, he realizes that it has gone viral and has gotten more responses than he could have imagined. He calls Dub to tell her the news and tells her to immediately go celebrate their first success together. They do so and celebrate together. When they leave, he decides to ride the bus with her, telling her that he has been riding it for a long time. However, she is uncomfortable because G offers to help her and tells her that they are now together, and if she needs any help, he will provide. She doesn't like to let him know about the problems she's going through, 'cause it's too hard for her all the time. When she wakes up, she calls the owner to apologize for the late payment, and he surprises her by telling her that G has paid for the apartment years in advance. Dub decides to go talk to G and let him know what he shouldn't have done without talking to her on such things. She tells him that she has to leave because she doesn't want to quarrel with him. He assures her that he just wanted to help her and nothing more. He asks her to consider it a gift and then Dub just leaves, and he runs after her, assuring her that she will never change, and that the easiest thing for her to do is always leave. G says that he really cares because he sees her happy. At this point, he lets her know that he won't let himself get hurt over her again, and assures her that they should think before acting. The girl goes to her friend's house and tells her about what happened between her and G, and assures her that she was going to break up with G, although she is very happy that they are finally getting back together, and assures her that both times it was her fault. On the other hand, G sits down with Shan and tells him that he rushed things when he got back together with Dub, and says he wishes he could dump her the way she left him back then. Apparently his dream came true and he decided to break up with her. Later, Dub sits alone and thinks of ways to erase all thoughts of him. The first thing she does is erase his phone number. But she doesn't know how to do that, unlike G, who deletes her number from his phone and cries because he regrets it. If he makes that decision, it means their relationship is over for him. As the days go, Dub devotes all her attention to work. While delivering an order to a customer, she sees him watching a Kai video with his friends. She calls him and congratulates him on being successful. He thanks her for inspiring him. He explains to her that it was a mistake to open up to her about his feelings. He can see that G loves her and thinks they are a perfect couple. Later, as she's working, she receives a message from the group asking for her opinion on what shots she would like to keep. Then, they send her full footage of being at home to add to the project, and realized that while she was at home with G, he was always focused on her, filming, paying attention, and worrying about her a lot. She sees him talking to Kai and tells him that this is the most moment of his life because Dub is playing the piano again, and in that moment, Dub realizes that she has lost the person she needs most in the world. In the evening, Dub goes to a restaurant. She meets a girl who is a waiter at the restaurant and tells her that she is going to open a restaurant in another place. The girl congratulates her and tells her that she has good knowledge of food. But Dub tells her that she will cook it the way she likes it because she doesn't know how to do it any other way. The girl assures her that she doesn't necessarily have to like what she cooks. In order to succeed, she needs to know everything of the dish she's about to cook. The next day, Dub thinks about the girl's words, realizes that she is confused, and grabs the ball G gave her and tells her to use it when she is nervous. Sue returns home, and Dub informs her that she has changed her mind and won't be opening a restaurant until she's a professional player of piano. Later, she is alone and writes a letter to G, apologizing for her acts and assuring him that the problem was in her, because she was always lost herself and couldn't focus on her was. She says that she learned a very important lesson from him, to remain confident in her abilities, no matter what obstacles surround her. She apologizes to him once again for all the hurt she has caused G. He remains silent and does not reply to her message. He even deletes the message because he doesn't want to even think about it, cause he's in a big pain. The girl decides to teach. She organizes it all at home to teach piano again. Later, Dub is at the airport with heavy bags, and one bag falls. When she goes to pick it up, she falls, and an unknown person comes to save her. Turns out it is G. Then he tells her that he tried to forget her, but he couldn't forget even a day with her. She tells that they will live the same life together from now on. And at the end, they all celebrate the girl's big, huge success. Thanks a lot for watching. We are happy for your likes and subscriptions. See you soon.